Hi, my name is Bella Hassett, and for my capstone, I chose to do social media's effect on teens. First, let's start off with a little background information. Social media has been around for a while. Instagram has been around for 9 years, Snapchat has been around for 8 years, and Facebook has been around for 15. About 4 billion people use social media worldwide, with teens and young adults using it the most. As you can see in this infographic, the red shows that 9 out of 10 teens aged 13 to 17 have at least one social media account, and 71%, which is represented by the red and blue figures, have more than one social media app. Many people question if social media is good or bad for teens. One side believes that social media is good for teens and can actually have many benefits. They think that social media allows people to learn about other cultures around the world. It also helps people to stay connected with friends and family. This has been evident during the pandemic when people had to be in quarantine. Teens have been able to stay connected with their friends through social media. Social media allows teens to seek help and support for topics they are uncomfortable talking to their parents about. In addition, these apps can offer a sense of belonging, can be used to educate, can expose teens to new hobbies, spread awareness about current events, and can be used to de-stress. These pictures demonstrate how social media can be used to spread awareness about current events. It can be used to educate people about what is going on in the world. Many teens today do not watch the news and only learn about what is happening in our world through social media. The Black Lives Matter movement and environmental cleanup have been posted on social media to try and educate people. All this exposure can hopefully lead to positive change. While there are many people who believe social media can be beneficial, there are many others who believe that social media can be detrimental. Social media can lead to anxiety and depression, can cause self-esteem issues, can cause FOMO, also known as fear of missing out. As this slide shows, FOMO is having anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may currently be happening elsewhere and you are not a part of it. Social media can also cause disturbances in sleep schedule because teens are staying up late on their apps, then they have trouble waking up for school. Social media can lead to cyberbullying because it allows the bully to remain anonymous. Finally, many teens can fall prey to online predators through social media. This video that I'm going to show you talks about the dangers of social media and how it can affect you.
Teens and adults who spend more time on social media sites are more likely to be lonely and depressed. So this study is a crucial piece of the puzzle showing that it's not just say that the unhappy kids are spending more time on social media, that social media may actually cause loneliness and depression.
And what then specifically do you think drives it? Is it the inherent social comparison that they go through when they're participating in Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook? You're being held up to be assessed in comparison to your peers.
There are, I think, a number of mechanisms. So one is exactly that. Everybody else's life looks so much more glamorous on Instagram than yours because you know all the things that happen in your life, but your friends are only posting about the positive things. It's also so easy to see all the things that we're missing out on. So we feel left out much more often. It's especially true for teens. You know, past years they might have heard about the party whispered about in the high school hallway, and now they see it in living color, in real time, online.
So, to parents who are watching, to teens who are watching, what's your advice?
My advice is pretty simple. It's two things. First, your phone should not be in your bedroom at night so you get a good night's sleep. And second, that nope, you don't have to give up your phone or being online or social media, but you should limit your use. So for social media in particular, limit it to an hour a day or less and try to keep total screen time below about 2 hours a day of leisure time or less. That seems to be what is best for mental health and happiness.
As you can see, there are many reasons why people believe that social media can be bad for you. While there are both positive and negatives to social media, I believe that teens should be able to use it as long as they use it appropriately. I believe that negative effects begin to happen when people become addicted to social media. As the woman in the previous video mentioned, I believe that people should be able to use social media, but they should make sure they are not using it too much. People should not be having screen time for more than 2 hours a day and should be trying to aim for using their devices for less than 2 hours. While this is the recommended time, many people surpass it. As you can see in this infographic, a majority of teens and young adults surpass the maximum time by an hour. The infographic also shows that, in general, the older people are, the less time they spend on devices. So how can you make sure you are not addicted to your phone and not spending too much time on social media? One thing that you can do is set time limits. On Apple phones, it is easy to set screen restrictions. You or your parents can set it up. The phone will automatically shut off once you reach your time limit. This will make sure you are not spending too much time on your apps and you aren't using your phone when you should be sleeping. This video shows how you can set up your time restrictions.
This is how to use screen time in iOS 12 to control what you or your kids do on their iPhone or iPad. I'm Josh Smith with GottaBeMobile.com. The first thing you need to do is go into Settings and tap on Screen Time. There is no Screen Time app. It's all controlled within here. And so there's four main parts. First off, we can see the activity, but the real control comes down to downtime, which lets you control access to apps before bed, app time limits to set app limits specifically for an individual app or a category of apps, the ability to set apps that are always allowed, like phone messages or an educational app, and then finally content and privacy restrictions, where you can lock down different iTunes App Store, privacy, and other settings. So to get started, you're going to have to turn this on if it's not already on. And while you're on this main screen, if you're setting this up for a kid, this is a good time to set up use a screen time passcode and set a passcode that they're not going to know, otherwise they can bypass all of this.
Another way to limit your phone use is to not keep your phone in your room at night, like the woman in the video said. Many people can't resist the temptation, so it is best to keep the temptation away. You can also go on a social media cleanse. It can be good to take a break from all social media for a week or even just a day. Another suggestion I learned from my interview with licensed professional counselor Kim Whittingham was to make sure you have an activity to replace screen time, like go for a hike or go out with friends. While social media use is considered to be a problem by some now, I think that it will be an even bigger problem in the future. Technology is constantly advancing, and the age at which people are getting their first phone is continuing to decrease. I think the only way to stop the problems caused by social media is to learn to resist the temptations and make sure we are being careful with the amount of time we spend on apps. If we monitor our time now, maybe future generations will learn to do that too. I use these resources to help me prepare my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned some useful information.